Do the countdown. Okay, here we are. So today is Wednesday, February 23rd, 2022, which on the heels of what I feel like was a really fun and exciting day with all the twos. I personally love whenever I see 3 threes. I've already woken up for no reason at 3:03 a.m. and screenshot my phone because I like to see the numbers. I don't know what I think is going to happen, what I'll benefit.
That's because it's your birthday.
That too. But the same thing with the twos. I'm dropping hints. I'm not really. Don't do anything for my birthday.
You are.
Really, I don't need anything for my birthday. I really don't. But the twos, it was so fun. And then I love Mel Robbins. She did a video and she's like, you know what? 2/22/22, what do you have to do today? Treat it as a special day. But guess what? That's every day. Every single day is the only day you're ever going to feel this way. Just because all the numbers line up a certain way, it's fun. You can use it as an inspire piece, as an inspiration piece. However, it doesn't make yesterday more important than today. And like we're in the now. So just felt like I had to share that because I just really loved that. And if you didn't catch the post or the stories or whatever yesterday about it, I just really loved that takeaway. Even though I did kind of have a lot of fun with all the twos. I was the person at my job in the Zoom chat, happy Tuesday, TWOSDAY. Like I was that person. So I embraced it and had fun, but today is it's just as much reason to have fun and celebrate and go today. And that being said, this is life, and life is not always fun. I think that for some reason, we have this idea that the default setting should be all is good and all is well, right? Like we should always be perfect, and if you're not, something's wrong. Everything should be good and put on a strong face, or everything should be fine, and if it's not, there's something wrong. And I think the truth is that life can be hard sometimes. Life can be a lot sometimes. And in the post that I shared today and in some private conversations that I've had since then, there is a lot of overwhelm and a lot of hard going on in different areas in our community. And so I want to be respectful to that and address a little of it. Also in giving you permission to just remember this video, maybe send this to your private message or send this to your email or copy the link for when you're ready to. Because I think sometimes when we're in a hard situation, when we're in an overwhelm or we're in a stress, we're not in a place to receive helpful information. Like, I don't know if it's ever happened to you, but for me, I can definitely say when I was at my lowest point 5.5 years ago, and I was truly, honestly, I think devastated is the best word I can give, that for me, I was just like, I'm over 300 pounds again. And, I'm in my late 30s and I've done this to myself over 3 times in 20 some years. And why can't I get it together? And there's nothing wrong medically. And it's all my fault. And I can't fit my clothing. And I would cry in front of my closet every morning. Like when I was in that low part, I had people trying to encourage me, just come and work out. Working out is good for you. It gets your endorphins going. It's your happy hormones. Just come and work out. And the same thing happened when, I can't say it right now. Never mind. I have to skip that part because little ears are close enough. But in those hard moments, I wasn't in a place to receive that. I was more putting up a wall. And I think all the love, I know they were just trying to encourage me to get to work out. I know they were just telling me what was helping them, but I wasn't in a place to receive it. So give yourself permission to not be in a place to receive this message, and that's okay. I just also, if you are in a place to receive it or you feel that wall coming up, just take note of it. And, do with this as you can. Take what you can, choose with what you can. So I talked about Mel Robbins a little bit earlier. I'm a fangirl. Mel Robbins' 5-Second Rule was one of my moving forward books that I read right after, John Gordon, The Energy Bus was like my very first book that broke it open. And then the 5-Second Rule from Mel Robbins really helped me start moving forward. And so she talks about this trick here. And it explains what overwhelm is, because to address something, you have to understand what it is. And so for the most part, overwhelm is all these things going into your head. It's looking at social media and seeing where you should or should have done. It's looking at all those work emails. It's looking at your tax returns that have to be done. It's looking at the bills that have to get paid. It's looking at the closet that has to get cleaned. It's looking at the laundry that's not folded. It's looking at all the apps you didn't get rid of. It's looking at all these things, and it's basically your brain is overwhelmed trying to hold so much information. And that's all it is. It's every concern, everything that you do, everything that you worry about, everything that you're talking about, your brain is trying to hold it. And it can't hold this much. So Mel Robbins talks about if you're feeling overwhelmed, she knows your brain is just filled with a lot of shoulda, coulda, woulda, have to, got to, don't know how to do it. And when you're looking at everything that you have to do or you should do, it becomes very paralyzing, because where do you start if you just keep looking at these lists back and forth? And so what we honestly, the solution to being in this position is pausing, because we're already paused, and it's getting it all out of your head instead of trying to hold it. And so this is where you can take a pause or start writing down or just make a note of what to do. This is where you are going to get everything out of your head. Everything that you think, the laundry that has to be done, you have to go to the bathroom, you have to do the dishes, you have to take care and so, you have to make a phone call, you have to follow up and stop and auto ship, you have to, follow up and, anything that you have to do that you're holding on to, get it on paper, to get it out of your head, to get it out of where you think, you have to be able to juggle and know everything. The next thing that you do once you have that full list is she encourages you to take a highlighter, and you're just going to take a highlighter and pick 3 things that need to happen. Only 3. And sometimes we talk a lot about one is more than none. Just circle one highest thing. I have myself ignored laundry for 2 weeks because I had other things I need to work on. I have told people, and I myself have let dishes go overnight because taking a shower, taking a nap, going to bed, or doing something joyful with my son was more important than the dishes that could wait for tomorrow, in the state that I was. And so hopefully if you're feeling overwhelmed, one thing that I have done for myself is I change the verbiage. I try not to actually say overwhelmed. I call myself in high demand, because when you're making this list, it's actually just your overwhelm is trying to hold everything you think has to happen instantly and that you need to do. And in reality, some of those things on your list you're going to find are not your things. You may need to struggle a little bit with perfectionism, letting someone else put the dishes away or letting someone else fold their laundry or do their laundry. There may be some things that if you're a household, you can delegate to someone else, but it requires you asking for help or letting go of it being a specific way. And being able to be okay with that. So there may be some opportunity there. But getting it out of your head so your brain can get a break from trying to carry it all is one thing. So just besides that, and I'd love for you to share in the comments if there's something that helps you when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you're feeling that way. For me, like I said, I like to say in high demand. I love to do the list, and you better believe I add having to pee or take a shower onto the list, because I certainly want to cross off that I had to pee. It's a very easy thing to fix. And then just the act of taking that action is a step forward and can already feel some of the pressure falling off me. So I wanted to touch base a little bit on that. For if you don't need it now, the fact is this is life. You're probably going to need to have that conversation with yourself at some point, because at some point something will come up or happen that we aren't ready for or prepared for. And I would like to say that it's not, but I think instead of like expecting that everything's supposed to always be good or be organized or set or one perfect way, I feel like it's easier to deal with those hard challenges when they come up if we're honest with the fact that they're most likely coming up. I think we can all look at just the last 2 years of what was thrown at us with the reality of, yes, let's, change is one of our guarantees. So let's be open to how do I react before I respond? How do I research? Research before I respond. Like, how do I come to that in a different place? And so once we get our head emptied, and now we're in a place that we can move forward, I want to share 3 things with you to help you bounce forward, to help you move forward in the direction you're going instead of staying where you are. I mean, besides the fact that I love, and I've been holding on, the last 2 years I've been holding on to one is more than none. One is more than none. I can't tell you how often, especially the last 2 years, doing one thing helped me just keep moving in that direction. So, and it actually, bouncing forward actually really aligns with the thought and conversation around feeling overwhelmed. Because the first step in bouncing forward is embracing what is happening, is surrendering where you are, who you are, allow yourself to be a human, to feel and take the time to feel what you need, to like let go of those expected emotions, to think you have to put on a brave face. It's just really embracing where you are and seeing where you are, because you can't bounce forward if you don't know where you are, right? And then the second thing is choosing where you want to go. We can't bounce forward if we don't know the direction that we want to go. And this one for me is some people talk about it as your why. Some people talk about it as your vision. Some people talk about it. I've been really enjoying embracing who you want to become. Who is your best self? Who is it that you want to be when you show up in the future? And then it's deciding to embrace that, and then the courage to know I'm going to stick forward. I'm going to continue forward no matter what. And this for me, I have some like words that I really love to think about when I'm talking about embracing that future you that you want to be. And that is resilience. Considering when you're a toddler and you're learning to walk, you fall down often and you get back up. And people share that often in personal development, or share that often. And I have to say, I just never pause to think about how powerful that is, because that's how I was born. I was born to be resilient. I was born to bounce forward. I was born to fall down and get back up. And that means you were too, and it's inherently inside of you. And so that's something that you can pull and bounce forward from again. So, that's where, embracing that internal enthusiasm. I made a post yesterday just embracing that, have the confidence of a toddler with a shirt on their head, and just embracing all those things that inherently you were born with. We weren't born with these fears and these overwhelms that keep us stuck. That's us needing to learn how to handle the life that's happening, right? And so embrace that enthusiasm and that energy and that resilience and that optimistic, and brace forward, embrace that forward towards where you want to be. And when I talk about where you want to be, we truly need to have a strong picture of who we want to be, how we want to show up, how we want to feel when we wake up, how we want to engage with others, how we want to show up at work or in our relationships, where we want to go. And the reason being is that is where the motivation is. And I feel like sometimes that's another thing that's talked about so much is the why. And I'm hoping if I can share it to you in this way that maybe it'll click different than it has in the past. But the reason that you're not staying committed and bouncing forward and you're lacking motivation is you either haven't fully made the decision on who you want to be and where you want to be, you don't have a picture of that, so you haven't decided, so you're not truly embracing it, or you don't want it enough. If you think about, I want to get fit, and so I need to eat healthy and meal prep and do my workouts, that is not going to help you get out of bed when the alarm goes off and you're tired. I want to get fit is not going to do it. However, let's take it to babies and puppies, because I think everybody here has had a baby or puppy at some time in their life, and you can relate. If it is 3 a.m. and the puppy is crying and you wake up tired, do you say forget it, or do you go check on the puppy? You probably go check on the puppy, or howling or something, it's having an issue. You probably go check on it. Maybe it's crate training, but you're still going to probably check on it or wake up even though you're tired. The same thing with a baby. You have a baby crying, you're tired at 3 a.m. when they're crying, you're still going to get up and go. Why? Because the motivation of what you want is much stronger, your desire to check on them and have them be okay. So that desire pulls you forward because you know what you want. I want this baby to be okay. I want this dog to be okay. You know what you want. If you don't have that pull when the alarm goes off in the morning, or you don't have that pull when it comes time to grocery shop and you're not willing to make a plan or look at a plan for the week, it's because the desire is not there strong enough to get the outcome that those actions will take. Because in reality, those actions can take extra time and pain as you're learning to do them. So it truly is so important to have that full desire of who do I want to be? How do I want to show up, and why? Why does it make a difference? I can tell you from this side, it makes a difference when I can finish a stressful day. Work ended an hour and a half late today. Some file issues came up. It's end of month. It had to happen. And, come rushing in, my past self would have, ordered takeout or gone the drive-through. But because I meal prepped on Sunday, it took me less than 2 minutes to pull my Buddha bowl out of the fridge and dump it and eat it. And then I ate a really healthy meal, had a glass of water. I had some free time before we had our call tonight, and I feel really good. It could have gone a completely different way. But the desire to know when I have my food prepped for the week, it helps me feel better, save less stress, save money, eat better, and make progress, had me take the time to meal prep. With the added commitment this week of, well, I was teaching meal prep, so I better show up at meal prep, right? But I do it even on weeks that I don't just teach. And yet, however, if that's something that would motivate you, maybe you start teaching meal prep on Sundays and you find a way so that you have to do it. It's finding the desire and finding that motivation of who you want to show up to. Nicole does a really great job of this. She's put together a really great visual for herself on what she's working to, that every time she opens her computer, she sees her vision of what she wants, the power of putting it around you. When you walk into, my room here, you're going to see on my wall my vision of what I want. When you open up my phone, you're going to see the vision of what I want. When you open up my tracker's downstairs. At the top of my tracker, I write down, I'm an energetic source of light, empowering others to reach their full potential. There's no doubt that I know who I want and who I want to show up as, and so I work towards her. So commit, choose who you want, and embrace her. And then the third tip in bouncing forward is coming to peace with the past. Our past can be such an anchor if we give it the power to define us, and it doesn't define us. It's something that happened. I could have let 20 plus years of gaining and losing and gaining and losing really take me down, and I did for over 20 years. However, now I look at that and I learn from it. I've forgiven myself, and I've also gotten to the point that I'm thankful. I am truly thankful that I was over 100 pounds so many times, because I'm in such a unique position to say, I know how it feels. I know it sucks. I know you want to make progress and you're just feeling stuck and you feel like you're doing all the things. I get it. Let's look at your tracker. Let's look at your meal plan. When's the last time you watched your videos? Are you coming on any of the calls? When's the last time you worked out? What program are you doing? Like, I can help you get to that next step if you're willing to share with me. I get to do that because of the last 5.5 years, which is because of that brave me that wanted to be someone she's not. That me wanted to be today me. And she was brave enough to stay committed to that and keep bouncing forward. And so just embracing that dedication and focusing and releasing the fact that practice makes perfect, because practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes improvement. Practice makes permanent. Practice builds those habits. And what you're doing when you're looking at who that ideal version of you is, what you're doing is you're simply practicing to be her. You don't just wake up one morning down 100 pounds. I practice being me. I practice being me by drinking my water and tracking. I practice being me by working out. I practice being me by reading and learning and trying again, ditching the all or nothing, because the all or nothing just kept getting me back in the same circle, right? So in order to bounce forward, it's really 3 things that we need to do. We need to embrace what's happening and where we are and just know that we're not robots. It's not going to be perfect. And even robots are not always perfect. They need to be updated. They have glitches. Arms fall apart. Things need to be greased. So even robots aren't perfect. But embrace your humanity and where you are and know what you can handle. Sometimes we have to unplug and recharge. Number 2 is get that idea of where you are going, how you want to look, how you want to feel, and embrace that resilience and energy and optimistic, assertive actions of a toddler. I mean, I just would love us all to be toddlers without the diapers and screaming, I guess. Yeah. But embrace that energy, and then just come to terms with the past and use that as a lesson, use that as a learn, and use that to help bounce you forward. What is it that you keep failing at? What is it that you keep coming to as a wall, that you keep feeling stuck at? Whatever that is, you just haven't learned how to get over it yet. So who is someone that you see in our group? Who is someone that you can see that has a book or has a video that came to that wall and got over it? Because if they got over that wall, you can learn from them how to get over the wall that's in front of you. And so I just want to encourage you, maybe put a pin in this if you're in that spot that you need to feel some of the emotions and work through what you're doing. But give yourself that grace. Give yourself that grace. And I hope that this was helpful to show how you can absolutely go from feeling overwhelmed, getting it all out of your head, and then embracing where you are, being okay with being a beginner. That's another way to really say it. Choose where you want to go, and then just practice being her. Just practice. Practice is what gets you to where you want to go. You practice showing up as the person that makes those choices and does those things. And that's where you get your improvement, and that's where you get your results. So I thank you so much for catching the replay. I'm going to down plug now. So it's just going to be us on the Zoom to have our end chat. And I'd love to hear from you if this spoke to you or if it was helpful, or share in the comments what we can help and celebrate, and definitely encourage you forward. Okay, thanks so much.